In today's sitting, the court witnesses will be represented in the bail application of Mr. Mark McKenzie. The prosecution is represented by Crown Counsel Daniel Johnson, complainant Mrs. Stacey Ann McKenzie. The defendant, Mr. Mark McKenzie, is represented by defense counsel Julian Redwood Johnson. Mr. Mark McKenzie, who is still in custody, will be now escorted. Please rise for Judge Johnson. You may be seated.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk of Court. Good to have everybody here today. So today we're looking at this case again. This is the Mark McKenzie case now. The man who decided to beat his wife. I wonder what we will hear today. Counsel, you need to tell me what's happening here. This man I read was still in custody. You know what, go home, man. Let's hear what will happen today. Counsel, what do you have to say? Again, I believe I'll be hearing from his wife as well.
The prosecution still submits that based on the seriousness of the allegations against the accused, Mr. Mark McKenzie, that he is still likely to commit offenses while on bail in the home, and that he is more than likely that he will obstruct the course of justice by interfering with witnesses because of the close proximity that he is in relation to the witnesses. And we are still against the granting of bail for the accused, Mr. McKenzie.
Thank you very much, Counsel. So it's another bail hearing for this man here. And still no condition. If it's a conditional bail, Counsel, do you have any recommendation of a conditional bail?
Well, the prosecution submits that the conditions would be that Mr. McKenzie will be asked to relocate from the home, the family home, to his nearest family, his relative that would aid in promoting the course of justice.
Thank you very much, Counsel. All right, let's see what will happen today. So his wife has something to say, and let me hear from you, Madam. You were here last week. Your husband still in custody. Let me hear from you. That's McKenzie.
Your Honor, good morning, everyone. I am relieved and I am happy. I don't have to sleep with one eye open anymore. I am resting well at night.
God, that's how bad it was, man. Was it that bad? Yeah, my. So the last day you talk about night off. What you say now? You're feeling quite well? You don't feel as though your husband should be back into your space. You don't have that feeling at all?
He can be back in the space, but just for the children, Your Honor, but not for the marital relationship.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. McKenzie. God, it sounds like a hard case against this man here. Counsel, your client is here, and tell me what is it that you are proposing for today, as I hear what you have to say.
My Lord, the defense still submits that bail be granted to Mr. McKenzie. Mr. McKenzie has been a model inmate, and the persons in the lockup have testified to that. Mr. McKenzie has almost gone in a state of depression now, because that is not the circumstance that he would want to find himself in. And so we are still pleading to the court that bail be granted to my client, Mr. McKenzie.
Thank you very much, Counsel. I gather the man also has something to say, Mr. McKenzie. What's up with you, man? How has it been? What's happening with you?
Your Honor, this has been the hardest time of my life. The hardest time of my life. My whole 40-odd years, I have never been into a situation like this where I am depressed. I can't sleep because there's no comfortable place for me to sleep. And I have never dreamed that I would end up in a situation like this. I love my wife. Who know me know that I love my wife, and I would never do anything to hurt her. I am seeing her now for the first time since I've been locked up, and I can't even say anything more, Your Honor.
Listen, man. You wanted the presence of your wife, you wanted the comfort of your wife, and you feel safe to lay hands on her. I tell you that the trial is coming up for me to hear from some witnesses, because you are the same people who all the time you do these kind of things in your homes. You treat your wives in these kind of manner, and then when you come court, you want for people to feel sorry for you. You are the kind of people who we really need to send a message to take care of the wives. You come and see her now and feel that way. You would have her in your house from last week. You did about here to and lick on the woman. Eh? Well, let me hear. I hear that your children are here. Counsel, tell me, give me an update on what's happening with the children, please.
Your Honor, might I remind the court that all these are just allegations against my client. My client still professes that he has never laid hands on his wife in an abusive manner, and everything that he took from her is what she gave to him voluntarily as his wife.
I hear your counsel. I hear. Order! I hear your counsel. Is it that my record shows me that the children are here to speak today, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The children are here. 2 of his children are here, and they have even expressed, and we will allow them to speak with your permission, how much they miss their father in the home and how it has adversely affected them. So, first of all, we have his daughter, Rihanna, who will come to testify on his behalf.
Thank you, counsel. I will receive Rihanna at this time. These are the kind of homes that's out there, where the men are not around and the children are affected. I'll invite Rihanna to come. Let the court hear what she has to say as it relates to her father being incarcerated.
Okay, so before the court we have Rihanna, and If it pleases you, my Lord, can I pose some questions to
Sure.
young Rihanna? So, Rihanna, how has the absence of your father from the home affected you?
Well, sleepless nights, no lunch money, starvation, bad grades, following bad company, taking substances. It's been terrible.
Wow. And we see how important it is for your father to be in the home because I can imagine that he is a positive role model to you.
Yes.
What would you want the court to do today in regards to your father?
Well, my father is a good man. I don't think he deserved this. And to be honest, I really don't think he did what they accused him of doing. So,
Well, Your Honor, you have heard from young Rihanna. It will be up to the court to decide. Thank you very much, Rihanna.
Hold on, Rihanna, before you leave. Why you are saying that your substance abuse that you are that you know have? I mean you have been using drugs, that's what you say?
no, since my father is absent.
So since your father's absence, and you blame that on the fact that your father is not there,
Yes,
it now lead you into a kind of a drug addiction. That's what you're saying.
My way of coping.
How helpful was your dad when he was in the home?
Well, he was very supportive and he was my role model. And with my father, I was so happy I wouldn't even think of those stuffs and so.
So your appeal is that your father get bailed so that he can get back your life on track.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Counsel.
And if my father was here, this wouldn't happen. My mother cannot afford to get me a shoes, so I need my father.
Thank you very much, Counsel. Thank you very much. I hear another of his children is present.
Yes, young Malik is here as well. And Your Honor, he's taken it so hard, you know, and as you heard from Rihanna, what she has been going through, it has been exponentially worse on young Malik, being a young man who needs the influence of his father in the home. So let me invite young Malik to come, and he will testify how he has missed his father and how is he coping.
Malik, so you're here representing your dad as well, one by daddy home. What's happening with you now, Malik? How old are you, by the way?
I am 9 years old.
Talk up, I need to hear you.
I am 9 years old.
Take your hand out your pocket. Don't put your hand in your pocket in the courthouse. How old are you? How old are you?
I am 9 years old.
9 years old. What you have to say about daddy now?
Him not leave. Ever since him God, I can't get on the right path because I have violence in my life now.
Oh, really? And what is happening with you, Malik?
I have to try. I have to ask my mother for therapy classes.
Wow.
Therapy classes.
Jeez, look at that. Look at that.
So you want back daddy home? You want back daddy home?
He need to come home.
Yes.
And you said him got prison.
All right, young Malik. All right, young Malik. All right, fine. So we hear him. We've heard from Malik making that appeal.
Your Honor, I would love to get somebody from the court to assist with young Malik. He's taking it so hard. He's even crying right now. And now you see the toll that the incarceration is taking on his father. He has been a positive role model in his children's life. And as a youngster who looks up to his father, I plead with the court for the release of Mr. McKenzie at this time.
All right, thank you very much, Council. Young Belly, thank you very much. Continue to do well in school, though with Daddy here and not, continue to try and do well as best as you can. All right, thank you very much, Council. Now, let me just tell you, order here, please. Let me just tell you that, the court is a place where we try to resolve matters as best as we possibly can. The court is a place that we try to bring families together, and we are in a time where families are being torn because sometimes it starts in a marriage where wives and husbands not treating each other well. There are some witnesses I hear in this case who need to come and share for some allegations that were made last week. But let me just challenge you with this. Let me challenge you with Ephesians 5. And let me just read from 28. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. And I want to challenge your client, counsel. I want to challenge Mr. McKenzie. You've been incarcerated from last week. In fact, quite a few weeks now. And 2 weeks to be exact. And you have come to this court to be released. And let me tell you, the allegations against you are very strong, and I hear that you are a churchman, but I also hear that you have been frequently visiting the clubhouse and so on. So some allegations against you are really strong. Your wife said that she has had a peaceful week, 7 nights off, so to speak, and she had been living well. But when we talk about here that we have to love our wives as our own bodies, it means that the way you treat your own body, that's the way you are to treat your wife. The idea that you will now take up something and physically hurt the woman whom God has placed in your life is not one that we promote in this court. It continues to say, as a matter of fact, in Ephesians 5:29, indeed, no one ever hated his own body, but he nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ cherished the church. And so the way you take care of your body, that's the way to take care of your wife. You give to her what is due. You treat her as though you're treating yourself. And so when you're here today and calling for this time of bail, there are some people that I need to hear from. And I am at this time ready to make a ruling on the matter. Well, let me say that there are some witnesses being lined up that I need to hear from. So many times in this court, we don't make decisions just arbitrarily like that. We make decisions based on the guidelines that we have. So, Mr. Mark McKenzie, I hear that it's rough for you. I hear your children. And Clark Court, we're going to try to see if we can get some help for the children. But my ruling today, Mr. McKenzie, is that you shall remain in custody. You shall remain in custody until next week when I will be hearing from some witnesses about the strong allegations that are against you. Counselor, hear your plea, and I know your plea is a very rich one for his release. But at this time, I think I need to hear from a few more people. And so I challenge you, Mr. Mark McKenzie, let this be a time in your life where you reflect. You have another week. We will meet, God's willing, next week in the court. In fact, let me just set the date from now. Let me check my calendar here. So now is the 20th of November. So we meet again on the 27th of November, at which time I will be hearing your witnesses. And let me just challenge both of your counsel, ensure that all witnesses are present, ensure that you are on time for the hearing, as there will be a final decision on the trial next week. So the ruling is that you remain in custody, sir, until I meet again next week, okay? And whatever lesson you need to learn, Sir McKenzie, learn the lessons. Good? I will now call this court adjourned until next week when we will have the final ruling in the time of testimony. Court is now adjourned.
All rise. court is now adjourned.